This is in continuation to our previous video lecture where we were discussing regarding the preparation of haloalkanes, and we were done with the preparation of haloalkanes from alkanes and from alkenes, right? And we studied in the ending of the lecture that we were looking at peroxide effect or anti-Markovnikov's rule, and we said that for peroxide effect or anti-Markovnikov's rule, the negative part will go to the carbon atom that has more number of hydrogen atoms, and your positive part, that is hydrogen, will go to the carbon atom that has less number of hydrogen atoms, right? So this is opposite of Markovnikov. We call it anti-Markovnikov rule, right? We also call it as Karats's peroxide effect or Karats's effect. This is your alkene. This is an unsymmetrical alkene. It reacts with HBr in the presence of peroxide, right? This positive part will go to the carbon atom that has less number of hydrogen atoms. This negative part, which is Br, will go to the carbon atom that has more number of hydrogen atoms, right? So this is your anti-Markovnikov's rule, right? You can see these products are different. So this is your this reaction, which is your Markovnikov rule. This proceeds via electrophilic addition reaction, right? And this, your anti-Markovnikov's rule, proceeds via free radical mechanism, right? That is why we get different products. And the important thing here is that this anti-Markovnikov's rule applies only to HBr, right? It does not apply to HCl or HI. It applies only to HBr. Remember this, right? Now we will look into the second method of preparation of alcohols, that is preparation of alkyl halides from alcohols, right? And this is the most widely used and most convenient method for the preparation of alkyl halides, right? Now we'll look into preparation of alkyl halides from alcohols. Let me just quickly rub this. So what we would be doing is, in order to prepare alkyl halide from alcohol, we would be using your alcohol molecule, right? We would be reacting alcohol with halogen acids, right? Halogen acids like HCl, HBr, HI, right? Wherein the OH of alcohol would be replaced by X, that is halide ion of your halogen acid, right? And this is done in the presence of dehydrating agent. So your ROH will react with HX. This is your general reaction in the presence of dehydrating agent. Dehydrating agent can be your sulfuric acid or your zinc chloride, right? It will form RX plus H2O, right? Now let's look into the function of each of these in this reaction. You have a dehydrating agent. The work of dehydrating agent is to remove this water. It will remove water, and it will, if you have water here, water can react with alkyl halide to give you back these reactants. That way it would be a reversible reaction, and we know that in reversible reaction the rate of formation of product will slow down, right? And we will have less product. So in order to prevent the reversibility of the reaction, we use dehydrating agent. This dehydrating agent will keep removing this water, right? Due to which reversible reaction will not take place, right? So this will remove water and will prevent reversibility of reaction, right? This is its most important use. Now we have alcohol in this reaction. Let's see what role does alcohol plays. First, before looking into alcohol, we should know that this is what mechanism does it follow, because we know that organic reaction is nothing Organic reaction is a reaction between an organic molecule, right, which is here alkyl halide, and a reagent. The reagent here is your HX, right? So this is producing a positive or a negative reagent, and this is your alkyl, this is your substrate molecule, right? So your substrate molecule will react with the reagent, right? Here this is your nucleophilic substitution reaction. This is the mechanism that it will follow, right? So here what nucleophiles this HX will produce? It will produce this. This is a nucleophile, right? And we know that nucleophile will attack, we know that nucleophiles attack at positive sites, right, of your organic molecule, right? So nucleophiles will attack at positive sites of your substrate. Here in this case your substrate is alcohol, right? Now we'll need to look into the nucleophile, right, and your positive site of the substrate in the nucleophilic substitution reaction. So nucleophilic substitution here, so we have HI, right, we have HCl, we have HBr. These are the halogen acids that we would be looking into, right? I'm sorry, we have HBr, and this is a nucleophilic substitution reaction where the nucleophile is your X minus. Your X minus, this means your iodine, your Br minus, and your Cl, right? These are your nucleophiles. These are electron rich species, right, which will attack at positive sites which are electron deficient sites, right? So it will give an electron pair, right, to the electron. Either it will give an electron pair, this is how it works, either it will give an electron pair to the electron deficient carbon atom, or it will form a bond with it, right, by giving it an electron pair, right? So, and your alcohol, now let's look at alcohol. Alcohol will form this, it will form, alcohol will form your intermediate, right? Since this is a nucleophilic substitution reaction, and we said that this nucleophile will attack at your positive sites of the substrate, or positive site of the substrate, right? First substrate will form your intermediate, right? And intermediate in this reaction would be your carbocations. We know that carbocations are positive ions, right? They are, like we have positive cations, we have carbocation, which are positive intermediates in organic chemistry, right? So it would be like this, it would be this, right? Or you have this, or you have this, right? And you have positive, all these positive. These are carbocations, which are positive reaction intermediates, right, in case of these reactions, right? In these reactions we have these positive reagents, right? I'm sorry, we have these positive carbocations, right? So since these are nucleophilic substitution reactions, nucleophile would be your X minus, that will come from your halogen acid, right? And your carbocation, the positive, we know that nucleophiles attack at positive sites, right? Positive sites we know are present in carbocations, and carbocations would be generated from your alcohol, right? Now let's see how it will do it. So we know one more thing. If you look at the stability of carbocations, we have done this in mechanism of organic reactions, right? The more positive this carbon atom is, the more unstable it is, right? So these alkyl groups we know are electron releasing, right? These alkyl groups will release electron towards this carbon atom, thereby lessening its positive charge, or it will disperse its positive charge, right? So the less the positive charge on this carbon atom due to these alkyl groups, the more stable it is. So you have maximum number of alkyl groups in this 3 degree. This is your 3 degree or tertiary alcohol, right, or your carbocation, right, which is generated in this reaction from a tertiary alcohol. And this is your 2 degree carbocation, which is generated from a secondary alcohol, and this is your 1 degree carbocation, which is generated from a primary alcohol, right? So their order of stability would be this. This would be maximum stable. Why? Because it has maximum number of alkyl groups, right, which are electron releasing and are lessening the positive charge or dispersing the positive charge on the carbocation carbon, right? Similarly, you have less alkyl groups here, so this would be less stable as compared to this, because it will have more positive charge or less positive charge is dispersed. Similarly, this one, it has one alkyl group, that means the carbon atom attached to this alkyl group will have maximum positive charge, that is, it has maximum unstability or least stable. So this is the stability, right? So this is the order that it will show in its reactivity in this alcohol, in this reaction, right? This is the stability of carbocation, and same would be the reactivity of alcohols in this reaction. 3 degree alcohol, that is tertiary alcohol, would have maximum reactivity. Why? Because they will generate this carbocation that has maximum stability. That means it is maximum available, so it would be easily attacked by the nucleophile, right, to form alkyl halide, right? So this is the order of stability of your order of reactivity, of alcohols, right? Now if you look at these, the reactivity order that these halogen acids will follow would be HI would be greater than HBr, be greater than HCl, right? Why this? Because we know that any reaction involves breaking and making of bonds, right? So bond dissociation energy of HI is minimum. You have to give it less energy, this get easily broken, right? This bond, the bond between hydrogen and iodine will get easily break, right? Then followed by HBr, then followed by HCl, right? Or we can also look at this in another way, that nucleophilicity of iodine is maximum, right? It can easily form bond with the carbocation carbon, right, by donating its electron, or the other way. Then comes your bromine, then comes your Cl minus, right? This is based on the nucleophilicity, because this is a nucleophile. So this is nucleophilicity of iodine is maximum, then comes your bromine, then comes your chlorine, right? This is based on the nucleophilicity, right? I hope this is clear, right? So you have two things, your reactivity of alcohols, right, based on the reactivity of carbocations, right, and the reactivity of carbocations is based on the alkyl groups. The more the alkyl groups, the less is the positive charge, the more stable the carbocation would be, right? So till this point it should be clear, right? So now let's look into the reactions, right? So first let's look into the reaction of ethanol with HCl, right? Then we'll look into the reaction of propane to all, right? First let's look at this reaction. CH3CH2OH plus halogen acid HCl, right, will form in the presence of dehydrating agent zinc chloride, right, which will remove this water, it will form CH3CH2Cl plus your water, which would be removed by this, right? This is your 1 degree alcohol. This is your ethanol, your primary or 1 degree alcohol, right, which is least stable. If you look at that sequence, right, this is least stable, right? So this is how you will prepare chloroalkanes, right? And the other way you have is to prepare right. Let's look at 2 degree CH3, right, CHOH CH3 plus HCl gives you zinc chloride, right? It will form CH3 CHOH, right, CH3 plus water. This is your this is your Cl, 2-chloropropane. Right. So here this reaction will go through a intermediate carbocation, right? So here the intermediate carbocation that will get formed in this reaction would be your CH3 your H. It has 2 methyl groups, electron releasing. In this case you have only 1 methyl group. In this case, in the first reaction, this is the carbocation that would be generated in this reaction in case of 1 degree alcohol. This is the one that would be generated in case of this reaction, right? So which is more stable? The one that has more number of methyl groups, because they are electron releasing, they will disperse more charge on this carbon atom in case of this compound. So this would be more stable, or this alcohol, we say this alcohol would be more reactive than this alcohol in this reaction, right? This method for preparing your chloroalkanes, right, we call it as your Groves method, right? Preparation of primary and secondary chloroalkanes. This is your secondary chloroalkane and this is your primary chloroalkane. And this method for preparing primary and secondary chloroalkanes from your primary and secondary alcohol, right, now we have discussed everything about stability and mechanism, is your Groves method. Just remember the name of this reaction. This is your Groves method, right, for the preparation of chloroalkanes. Now this is your secondary, this is your primary. Now let's talk about the other reaction. Let's take tertiary, this one, 3 degree alcohol, right? This will react with HCl. In the reaction is, this is most reactive, we know as per this. 3 degree alcohols are most reactive, so it will react, right, to form a tertiary alkane plus water, right, without the presence of zinc chloride, right? This reaction takes place even in the absence of zinc chloride, because the reactivity of this 3 degree alcohol is maximum, right? So if you look at all 3 reactions, reactivity of this is maximum, right? This also comes under Groves method, right? Groves method of preparation of chloroalkanes. This the reactivity of this is maximum, then comes this 2 degree, then comes this 1 degree, right? So this order it will follow, right? I hope this is clear. Now if you want to prepare bromoalkanes, right, bromoalkanes or iodoalkanes can be prepared by reflux reactions, right? For bromo and iodoalkanes, what you do is, you take alcohols, right, and reflux alcohols with your potassium bromide and concentrated sulfuric acid. Right, first let's see potassium bromide and your concentrated sulfuric acid will form KBr. Right, it will form your HBr. This react form your HBr and your potassium sulfate K2SO4. Right, this is what it will form. It will form acid salt KHSO4. It will form HBr and KHSO4. Now the HBr will react with your alcohol, let's say ethanol. HBr will react to form CH3 CH2Br plus water. This is your ethyl bromide, right? And this is your what we say is that this bromoalkane is obtained by refluxing this alcohol with potassium bromide and sulfuric acid, right? By refluxing, what do we mean by refluxing? Refluxing is a type of reaction where you take a flask, right, where you take this kind of a flask, and in this flask you take this ethanol, potassium bromide and sulfuric acid, right? When you heat it, the vapors that gets formed, right, it has a condenser, this flask has a condenser, so the vapors that will get formed will condense and will come back into the same flask, right? Vapors, the liquid will remain inside the flask only, right? Because vapors when they will condense via this condenser, they will come back in the same condenser only, right? So this is your refluxing reaction. Now let's see the preparation of HI. This is your bromoalkane. Iodoalkane is prepared by refluxing alcohol, right? Similarly, you reflux alcohol with potassium iodide, right, and your phosphoric acid. And in place of this, you can also take HBr, concentrated HBr, right? You can take 48%. Instead of this, you can take 48% concentrated HBr. So, right, similarly, if you talk about iodoalkane, you take potassium iodide, right? You treat it with H3PO4, phosphoric acid, right? It will form HI, right? It will form HI. Then the similar reaction, it will form HI plus KH2PO4, right? Now this HI will react with alcohol to form iodoalkane, CH3 CH2I, right? This is how the iodoalkane is formed, right? So now we are clear with the preparation of chloroalkanes via Grove's method, right? Iodoalkanes and your bromoalkanes, right, by reflux method, where you reflux alcohol with your potassium bromide and sulfuric acid, and in this case you reflux alcohol with potassium iodide and phosphoric acid, right? And it's a reflux reaction. Know what is a reflux reaction, remember, right? Now let's quickly look into the preparation of alcohols from phosphorus halides and thionyl chloride, right? Phosphorus halides we know is your phosphorus pentachloride, phosphorus tribromide, phosphorus triiodide. All these are phosphorus halides. Now let's quickly see how to prepare alcohols from these phosphorus halides, right? This method was the reaction between halogen acids and alcohols. Now the other way is that now we will look into is preparation of alcohols. The second way is from phosphorus halides, right? In case of phosphorus halides, you have PCl5, right, and PBr3. So in case of ethanol, if you take ethanol, right, what you do is chloroalkanes are prepared by the action of PCl5, right, or PCl3 on alcohols. Because this is PCl5, what you will get is CH3 CH2OH plus PCl3 or PCl5, it will form CH3 CH2Cl plus POCl3 plus HCl. This is the product, right? Now if you want to prepare bromoalkanes, this is your chloroalkanes from phosphorus halide. If you want to prepare bromoalkanes or iodoalkanes, right, what you will do is you will take CH3 CH2OH, right? You take PBr3 or PI3. PBr3 and PI3 are not stable compounds, right? So what we do is we can prepare PBr3 and PI3 while the reaction is being done, right, from your red phosphorus and bromine, or from phosphorus and iodine, right? Your phosphorus plus bromine will react to form PBr3, right? So what you do is you take red phosphorus and bromine, it will form your phosphorus halide, which in this case is phosphorus bromide. Why we need bromide? Because we are preparing a bromoalkane, right? It will form this PBr3 is formed while the reaction from red phosphorus and bromine, right? It will react with it to form CH3 CH2Br, right, plus HBr. Similarly, CH3 CH2OH, you get PI3, right? PI3 is obtained similarly from phosphorus and iodine, from red phosphorus and iodine to form PI3. It will form CH3 CH2I plus HI, right? So this is the preparation of bromoalkane and iodoalkane, right? I hope this is clear, right? Now in the next lecture, just remember that and there is another way, there is one more left, is from thionyl chloride, right? In case of thionyl chloride, what we will do is we take thionyl chloride is SOCH2, SOCl2, thionyl sulfuryl chloride, right? This is the reaction, CH3 CH2OH, right, plus SO2Cl2 or SOCl2, right, SOCl2. This is your sulfuryl chloride. This reaction takes place in presence of pyridine, and your products would be, right, CH3 CH2Cl, and the other products are your SO2 and HCl. This is your gas, this is your gas, right? So here, since the products are gaseous, this is the most convenient way of preparing your chloroalkanes, because the products formed are gaseous and will leave the main product in the pure state. This is the most convenient way, because you have gaseous products, they will escape out, leaving this in the pure state, right? I hope till this point it is clear. Just remember why this is the most convenient way. This is the most convenient way, right? I hope this is clear. Now in the next lecture we will look into preparation using halide exchange method, which is Finkelstein's reaction and your Hunsdiecker reaction and Schwarz reaction. Thanks.